Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Trevor's Tabletop. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and today we're giving our first impressions of Architects of Amit. What is the name of this one? Pepper?
Amethyst.
Amytis? Yeah, I don't know. Weird name. I love when it's architects in the name, though. Gets me excited. Architects of the West Kingdom has since made me interested in these games, but yeah, so when I heard this name, I'm like, okay, we're gonna be building something. That's usually the case in a game with architects in the name, and we are building our little city board with kind of some different building types, different colored buildings, and yeah, just kind of building up and scoring points as we're placing them, based on different scoring conditions, and then trying to also complete cards via that's what the color piece is used for, to get some more points.
Yes. So pretty approachable game. It just kind of
Yes.
feels like one of those classic games, like a kind of a King Domino type game. The game we always love to shout out. Just one of those nice, comfort, approachable games. But this one does have a little more to it, with some extra abilities to each of them. How excited were you going into this one? I hadn't really heard of it. I've seen the cover and heard the name, and I was a fan of both of them, but other than that, I knew nothing.
Yeah, I didn't really know too much either. I was also a fan of those things, and I recently saw it at, I think Barnes and Noble had it, and I was surprised because I was like, oh, I assumed this was going to be like a Ticket to Ride size box, but it was a smaller box. So I'm like, oh, that has me. I don't know that it made me worried or anything. It just made me like reconsider what I thought. I thought this one might, you know, when I hear those games, I kind of think medium to potentially heavy sometimes weight game.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, then when I saw it was like, I think it said 15, 20 minutes or something. It's like, oh, okay, this one's probably then maybe a little bit more on the approachable, lighter side. And as I was reading the instructions, I was like, or going through the tutorial on Board Game Arena here, I was like, okay, yeah, it seems like it should be pretty good because it's got. At first, I was just thinking, oh, you're just trying to match the colors, but it's got the nice combination of colors, and then the buildings themselves also score. So you're trying to manage a couple things at once. So it added just enough to it to not be too simple and had me excited then.
Yeah. Yeah, as you're explaining it, I was really digging this. It was making me think it has multiple layers kind of to your board. So that makes me think of Acropolis.
That
Not
was the
so
one I
much
thought of.
about like the spatial like scoring or anything like that, but I did really love Acropolis, so that had me excited there. Just the different abilities and the scoring, like for every tile you place. That just sounded really satisfying. What is a game like that? I just had one in my head. Maybe Middle Ages, possibly.
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of scoring every turn.
Yeah, that's
But a
true.
lot of games do that, but this one really kind of felt that way to me. Really love that. And then you put on top of it pattern building, fulfilling these orders, which I don't think you can flip them. You can rotate them, but you can't flip them, and that makes it pretty hard.
Yeah.
Um, so that was actually probably surprisingly little that I used in the game. I found it pretty hard to actually end up doing that, but I think that's because I ended up prioritizing the immediate points. As I was building walls, and just the more walls you get, the more points you get. You get two for every wall, so I got up to like six of them at one point. So I get two, four, six, 8, 10, 12 points, and you had to steal my last one so that I could not get another one. So.
Yeah, as you can see, he ended up winning. That was probably too little too late, but yeah. As a first time play, I guess I was kind of, I don't know what I was focused on, just trying to score and trying to get a feel for the timing of the game. I made a move that I thought felt right, and maybe if it had been just like a little bit later in the game, even though I don't know then if that situation would have occurred, uh, it maybe would have been about the right timing if it had been just a little bit later. But just based on the fact of when I did it, when we were looking back, I think I don't. Maybe Pepper doesn't agree, but I think if I would have done like so there's these end game scoring things you can get if you get your architects in a full row, three
You're
in a
playing
row,
tic-tac-toe
tic-tac-toe.
on this
Uh,
board.
yeah, you can explain it, Pepper.
Yes, so yeah, you choose your tiles on this board by placing your pawns out there and taking the tile. Then kind of covering up the ones below it so you can't get those back until you get a line and take your pawns back or you've placed all of them. But yeah, just that I thought was really cool that you
Mhm.
are kind of playing a little mini game of tic-tac-toe. It doesn't feel I didn't prioritize that for a while, and we did kind of set each other. A lot of times we only got one down there achievement because when you do complete a line, you get to choose one of the various bonuses, end game bonuses at the bottom, which is can be points for each kind of stack of one or stack of two, stack of three, and so on, or various different things, corners or completed cards which I think is just a really awesome way to do it. It just feels like just a really extra thing because you're just placing your actions like normal. And if you get a bonus, you get a bonus, and that's fantastic and can be a lot of points. Or you could try to prioritize those.
Yeah, I agree. I think some in some games something like that would feel tacked on and be like, why did they add this? It just feels like it's added for no reason. But
Yeah.
this one it did make it interesting towards the end because it was like, oh boy, I really don't want Pepper to get a row here or three in a row because if he does, then that takes away my little advantage I have on him there because he was scoring more in the game. I was like, well, if I'm the only one that scores one of these, then that's going to kind of even us back out. But if I allow him to get one, which you can see he did get one, um, then it's gonna. So it was interesting how it did make it kind of meaningful at the end of the game
Yeah.
as to like, oh, well, can I block it? Is there any way to block him from doing that? And yeah, I think at that point, think part of the reason was I think that was when I took like that last wall, and then because I did that, I allowed you to kind of get in that center space, which makes it a
Yeah.
little bit easier if you've ever played tic tac toe to get three in a row. Um, but yeah, we're gonna probably do a try before you buy on this one as well, a playthrough pretty much, and talk about how we think this is implemented on BGA. So you can go check out that video. But after this first play, I would say I'm pretty excited to do that and get back to a couple more plays of this one, just because yeah, I enjoyed it a lot as well, and I'm probably coming in at a first impression score. Ooh, I don't want to get too excited about it, but probably like an 8.25, possibly going up to 8.5. Just one of those that just scratches a lot of the itches. It is a two player game, I believe, two player only.
Is it? Let's
I
see.
believe it's two player only. So this is kind of one of those
Okay.
dual style games. So that's where that
Yep.
tic tac toe is interesting because you are just doing kind of it's a two-player game, so it's not like oh you can play up to four and then it takes away kind of all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe should have mentioned that earlier. Two-player only, uh, but yeah, I liked it quite a bit.
I liked it quite a bit as well. I'll give it a nine. I love handing out nines on these things. I feel like that's my most common number. This comes out of nowhere and just hits me with a bunch of really clever pieces to it. A lot of parts I love from other games. Some things that are brand new. Tic tac toe in a game, and it works and it feels good and it
No,
just has the right pacing to the game. It seems, and we actually ended up kind of the end game is triggered from digging through two full stacks of these tiles, and pretty much every one of them was near empty. So the pacing felt really good this time. It feels earned when you do get those point bonuses. The points along the way are fantastic. Pattern building's always fun. You get these bonuses, and you can get an A side and a B side. So there's two sides to each of those tiles point effect when you are placing them. So got some variability in there. What more could you ask for?
no,
This is a classic. This is a modern classic. This is another one in that line. King Domino and Acropolis and all those Middle Ages great games that we just love. And I think this is the next one. I think it's the next one.
Yeah, I 100% agree. But yeah, if you want to see more of a playthrough of this one on Board Game Arena specifically, you can go check out our video on that. Otherwise, if you want to just see more of our first impression videos and like this one, you can give us a thumbs up and subscribe for future content. But otherwise, we hope to see you on the next one. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.